all here. Well, we've got Kevin.
We're gonna have my jury's turn to this.
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
All right,
Who are you chasing down?
there he is. Kevin? We'll start the meeting. We'll start with a roll call. Oh, before we do that, welcome, Debbie. Debbie, our newest member to our committee. Welcome, Debbie. You'll enjoy it. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good.
I took my blood pressure. Mr. Chairman, just take a second. The argument has its strengths, and maybe you just want to.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
Sure. My name is Debbie Dean, and I'm a lifelong resident of Green Bay. I started out being a realtor, so I have that background. I ran the counseling and lending programs for NeighborWorks Green Bay for 9 years. I'm now with WIDA, Wisconsin Housing and Economic Development Authority. I'm a business and community relations officer for 22 counties and the tribes. And I'm also the past president of the Navarino Neighborhood Association, which I've served for about 9 years. And I'm on the Astor Neighborhood Association.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
I should have done that.
And her son lives right next door to me.
Yes, there's some next to me. My condolences. Here we go. Roll call.
All right, Chair Gary Delvaux.
Here.
Vice Chair Matt Schuler.
Here.
Alderperson Barbara Dorf.
Here.
Debbie Dean.
Here.
Jim Blumrick.
Here.
Kathy Hinkfist.
Here.
And Melanie Parma has to be excused.
Excellent. All right. Approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Barb and Jim. All those in favor, someone saying aye?
Aye.
Okay, so carried. Approval of the minutes from the August 14th meeting. Everybody got that on there?
Move to approve.
Second.
Jim and Kathy, all those in favor, someone say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. Regular business. Consideration with possible action on communication from August 21st, 2018 to the Common Council by Alderperson Steer, Great Council, to study and report on partial city funding for a garden coordinator position that's presently funded by Brown County. Nearly 3/4 of community gardens users live in the city of Green Bay. Who's got that one, Sarah?
I do. So that communication came to us. I've actually had a conversation with Alderman Story with regards to this. We received requests from the Brown County Extension to run a community garden program. We've had that request a number of years, and we received a request this year for $12,000, which covers the cost in addition to the county money to cover this position. That's the request we got. We approved it at the RDA. The position's been filled. I'm not quite sure what the request is, other than the fear of maybe block grant funding going away. But that would be a fear that if that were to happen, we would have to take a look at everything, because we have staff, of course, on our floor that's funded. We have programs we have many things that are funded with block grants. So I think in the future, if for some reason block grant were to go away, we want to re-examine everything up to that point. So as staff, we can't make a commitment to community gardens anymore, so we can make a commitment to everything else. I can tell you that we believe community gardens are very important. We've been funding them every year. We have a proposal every year. We would continue to do that. So at this point, unless you wanted to move that to the Finance Committee to look at the budget, I don't know why you would do that, but I would make a recommendation maybe just to receive and place on file.
I have a clarification.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
That's right. I'm just so polite, I will.
Okay, sorry.
So we are helping to fund it. So this would not be accurate that it's presently funded by Brown County?
It is
It's partially, but it's also
partially block grant, correct.
Okay. I would like to move to receive and place on file.
Second.
A motion made by Alderperson Barb and seconded by Jim to place on file. Any other questions or comments?
What does place on file mean?
It's where it belongs. Alderman Story does not have a grasp of this. This is just, we received it, we looked at it, and we set it in a file.
For all practical purposes.
Like G?
Right.
Or circular.
Okay.
It's the equivalent of tabling.
Tabling.
Yeah.
Well,
Or postponing to a time uncertain.
Tabling, you usually
Bring it back.
So
Postponing
this-
to a time indefinite.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Acknowledging
place on
there's no
file
action needed
is
on it.
Right.
no action.
Yep, I guess you're right, there's no action needed from the radio.
They're going to do it.
I like the motion, receive and place on file though. It's interesting that we voted on that.
Oh, yeah, that's just
Okay.
my explanation of it.
Okay.
That's what it means. There's no action. You can just,
All right. Any other comments or questions? If not, we shall vote.
Well, then I want to clarify,
Okay.
dear.
We're voting.
Yes.
I'm not sure that that's what we're voting on based on what's popped up electronically.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what's
Mine popped up, mine
Because I think
popped
we're
up
voting on
correctly,
funding.
but
You're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. According to
Business is open.
I would say that if that's the
mine
case,
didn't have that.
well,
And I
whatever.
think-
Okay, so then if that's the case, in my opinion, placing on file would be a no. If we have to vote on this, the percent.
I can change the
You
wording.
have to change the wording.
Does it say to approve? Or what popped up? I'm not sure.
The wording, the entire wording of the
Item one.
item.
The entire wording, item one.
Okay, let's assume Lisa's gonna change
Right.
the wording.
To receive
Receive
for a
and
garden
file.
To
coordinator
clarify,
position.
the way the system
Okay,
works
go ahead.
is it doesn't actually generate what the motion is that you're voting on. It just generates the item itself. And so your motion gets recorded into the system by Lisa.
Okay.
And you're just approving your motion as it's.
Got it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Got it, okay.
All right, get that in line, so vote on it then.
I said it to Rich.
So, motion to place on file. Okay. Oh, yes. No, it doesn't. You have to see that the motion, yes.
Okay.
So that passed unanimously.
Okay. Number 2, consideration of possible action to award low qualified bid for supply and installation of heating units for Shower and Schumacher Building to AMA Incorporated for $75,335. Kevin? Oh, Kevin, I'm sorry.
As the report stated, we have funds set aside for building preservation of the Shower and Schumacher structure over on Walnut and Anna Street. Part of our plan was to get some heat into that building and make it temporary and, well, not temporary as much as reusable. So we went out for bid for 7 units to supply heat to that building that are actually units that could be reused in other locations once we burn fire for that structure. So that was how we structured the bid. It was designed by the burner shoulder folks, so it's all set to go.
So the bottom line, you feel it's a good bid.
Yes, sir.
Good.
I want to just raise a question on this one here.
Yep.
So we're proposing here to spend $75,000 on this building. It's been on the market for how long?
Geez, I don't know.
4 years.
4 years.
It's currently under option.
Yes.
Do we really want to save the building?
Yes.
Yes.
This is historic, right?
Yeah, we have actually used CDBG funding for historic preservation, which means we must, as the owner of that building, preserve that building. So we have federal ties to that, otherwise we have to pay the money back that we expended on the building.
Question.
Matt, I know, this has been 4 years. Doesn't seem as long when you've been here 16 years. But I understand 4 years is a long time. The only serious inquiry, we had someone who wanted to level it for parking, and I just can't get my arms around that. So I know it's another 75,000, but I don't believe it's good money after bad. I do think something is going to happen in that district, but
Kind of related to that, what is delays with the option? A lot of interest, they're moving.
So, yeah, so working with the theater group on their option. Wendy is here.
I'm right here.
Okay. Oh, Mr. Danner, you want to give a quick update on your meeting?
Yeah, we had a meeting this last week, and they are going to wish to extend their option for an additional 3 months, but they are well underway with their fundraising and development. They're working with architects, they're doing design. Kevin King was in on that meeting as well. We wanted to make sure that the items that we are spending potentially could be either used by that user or other users, so we feel that this would be an added piece to them, so it's going to make their project even stronger by having these units available to them as well.
So the extension's going to come to us at the next meeting?
Yes, we'll have that all ready for next time.
No, this one was, remember at the last time we asked,
Oh,
you
that's
said
right.
6 month, you said 3 month,
Yep.
and then believe there's sufficient progress, so we will execute.
Oh, yes, you said,
extension.
add on 3 months. Yep,
Yep.
exactly, thank you, good.
Would the demolition of this building affect the downtown historical district?
Yes.
Yes, okay. That's what I thought.
This is contributing.
Yeah.
These buildings are both contributing. And there's two separate buildings, of course.
Right.
There's the old furniture store, which is on the corner of Walnut and Adams, and the Schumacher building, which is the old furniture or funeral parlor, and a number of retail stores over the years. And that building is really in the best shape of the two, and that could be converted quite quickly, I think. But the two we're selling, I think, is one project.
I think what we're aiming to do is, we have an active option on the building, for
Yep.
which they're doing due diligence, making progress. With that, I think the actions that we're taking or things that we're doing are also anticipating if something doesn't happen, we would be doing this anyway, as if we were doing it on our own. So I think we've talked at staff, we're not doing anything particular that will benefit just this one option or that can't be done. These are things where I guess we kind of have a plan B or alternative if this doesn't pan out, that we are ready to go come at the end of the option with the next option. Because I think in past, we've let maybe a little too much time go between the options, and okay, now we get somebody in, so, all right, we may have to take the horns on this one and be a little more, I guess, aggressive or forward in how this gets marketed and ultimately built out and developed.
One more question for Wendy. Wendy, based on your meeting, do you feel very good about the option being executed and going forward with the development?
They seem to be really active in putting the pieces together. They want to put a really strong action plan together before
Right.
coming to the committee.
All right. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Alderman Dorf, Alderperson, second time, Alderperson.
Please, Alder.
Just Alderman, okay, there you go. And second by Jim. So any other questions or comments? Otherwise, we will vote.
I know.
Passed unanimously.
All right. Number 3, consideration of possible action on request for proposals for development of the Adams Street lot located on 200 block of North Adams Street. I've seen the RFP and I've seen the 3 proposals. I know we have to put this a scoring process.
Yes, yep. Yeah, so we received 3 proposals for this project, and we reviewed it at staff level. And our recommendation right now is that we bring this to the RDA subcommittee and then meet with the individual developers as like an interview process, just to kind of get a better feel for where they're at with the projects, and then to get your input on the grading as well.
So they would actually make the presentation at the real estate subcommittee meeting?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. So we were going to set that up as, 10 to 15 minute, basically presentation, followed by 20 to 30 minute question and answer for each developer, and then bring our recommendations from that to the October 9th RDA meeting.
But there's certainly quite a bit of information to flesh out, if you will, and so that's kind of where a subcommittee's for. Real estate subcommittee's for, is to get details, get the questions, get the proposal, and come back with a recommendation to the credit group. My only concern is to make sure it's done in a timely manner,
Yes.
because we told them we're going to decide this pretty quickly. And the real estate subcommittee is Matt, Melody, and Kathy. But I'd recommend any one of us, and I certainly plan on being there, to attend that as well. But it could be lengthy, we're going to have proposals and presentations, so I think that's where it belongs. And I think that's why we have the committee, to flesh out the information and get back with a recommendation to the rest of the group. So that's what I guess I'm recommending, but it's up to the rest of the group what they want to do.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to comment on the values that you're assigning to certain things. I haven't seen that, but.
You haven't seen the scale, the voting, scoring?
But scalability has got to become a higher priority in this city. We've got to get scalability, 6, 7, 10, 12, 14 floors.
Okay.
We deserve that.
Okay.
And once that happens, it's going to happen again and again. We just haven't broken that ceiling.
Okay.
So if for some other reason you don't pick that one, I want to see it, because I
Okay.
want to know why.
That's fair.
And I think it's fair to say to the other ones in your RFQs that the city is looking to scale
Sure.
a building on this site.
Good, good. So, I'll entertain a motion, but the motion I recommend is, it's up there, everybody here, is that we do send it to a real estate subcommittee, but with the promptness being the order, and that any one of us should attend the meeting, although like I said, it's Matt, Melody, and Kathy are on that committee. And that's, people think we should be looking at in detail now, but I don't think we're ready for it. I just don't think we're ready for it. I looked at proposals, I got lots of questions, and I think this could take a lot more than this type of meeting to flush that out.
And I think that's what we found at the staff level too, is we just had more questions that we wanted flushed out as well.
Mr. Chairman, I think, yeah, just as we were talking about with staff, I think it's important that, first of all, I think we're pleased that, I mean, at least the proposals we got
Yes,
from qualified
absolutely.
developers.
Mhm, absolutely.
I know I've talked with the mayor before, I think this is a project that we probably anticipated maybe doing in about 3 or 4 years, but obviously with the market, I mean,
Yes.
the time is right to be exploring this now. I think some of the things that we wanted to really dive into is, you know, confirming our assumptions in terms of market demand for space, I mean, especially residential space in the downtown, and, you know, looking at timetables and then, you know, how can we scale and scale quickly. But then also, I think it's no secret, you know, from a planning perspective, we have an interest in taking down that basement building. And how does this really, you know, kind of push the envelope forward and into really, you know, moving forward with the key piece of our authenticity plan. And that, you know, we really get that city square that we've been working towards. How fast can a project like this push us towards that ultimate goal?
And the second thing is that we did get 3 very good proposals. You know, not 1, not 2, but 3. I mean, that shows a lot of great interest in that area. So, what's your desire, group?
Mr. Chairman, just to let you know, I will make myself available over the next couple of weeks to review this as quickly as possible. I'm going to be in town.
Good.
So I'd make that motion, Gary, right, to move this to the RDA Real Estate Subcommittee to discuss the proposals.
We'll second.
Okay, a motion by Matt and second by Jim. Any other questions or comments in regard to this proposal? If not, we shall vote. Okay, very good.
Passed unanimously.
Very good, thank you. Thank you, Jim. Consideration of possible action on the disposition of 1655 Deborah Lane, parcel 21-1111-T2.
All right, that would be me. So we purchased this property in 2017 from Brown County. Our initial...
Was this like tax delinquent when you said you purchased it? from
Correct,
County?
yes, yes. This is a tax foreclosure from 2017. Our intention was to rehab this property and sell it with CDBG funds to provide low to moderate income housing in this neighborhood. Once we got in it a little deeper, inspected a little further, the foundation is really in pretty bad shape. And our opinion is to tear this property down and build new would probably be the best use of our funds. And so Habitat for Humanity has expressed interest in doing that with us. So they have provided a plan that we feel fits the neighborhood. We've worked with them on, adding those elements that we want to see in that neighborhood. I think the only thing the plan doesn't show, we had discussed possibly adding some brick. A lot of the properties in this neighborhood do have brick, so we're talking about that. So yep. Habitat is here if you have any questions about this property. But otherwise, staff is comfortable going forward with deeding this over to Habitat to build in this upcoming spring, and it'll be their 116th build in our area. So congratulations to them too. So they've been doing some hard work.
Questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion, whatever that may be.
Move to approve.
Alderperson Dorf. Made the motion, is there a second?
I'll second that, Gary.
Second by Matt. All right. Any other questions or comments before we vote? All right.
Who's next? Me.
That's not surprised. It's not popping up for me.
That's not popping up. Now I see it downloading.
It's very slow.
Sorry, guys.
Mine didn't pop up in it.
No.
I didn't sign in.
I can,
No,
Take it as a
it's,
voice.
I can register to vote.
Yeah, we can do like your voice vote.
Yes.
So all those in favor of the recommendation? Okay, we get here.
Passed unanimously.
There it is.
Finally.
There it is. Sure. Alrighty. Number 5, consideration of possible action on extension of development agreement for 871 West Mason Street, parcel 2-450.
All right, that one's me as well. So we've been working with Growth Process LLC on this project. They've been working to convert this property from a 2-family back to a single-family. They had some unexpected delays with some permitting issues that they had to get figured out. Everything's on track now. The developers are requesting a 90-day extension just to cover if there's anything else that comes up. You know, they plan to have it sold sooner. They definitely want to have it sold before winter. So they think 90 days probably looks more like 30 days, but they're requesting the 90 just in case. So, you know, they've been good to work with. We walked through the property a few times. They're doing some pretty neat things inside to transform this back into a single family. So we are recommending the extension of the development agreement.
I would move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jim, second by Kathy. Any other questions or comments?
Passed unanimously.
Thank you. Thank you. Number 6, consideration of possible action on development agreement for 615 12th Avenue, parcel 2-656.
That's me as well.
All right.
I can show you after.
Yes, absolutely. Ken.
That's my goal, right?
We gave him one room on the other side of the
Yeah.
building.
No, yeah, it does have a name on it, yeah.
Okay, he might be off.
I have an
Okay,
office
okay.
name, yeah.
Hey Ken, this house is kind of looking like how votes are split in the country.
Yes.
I'm watching this construction.
Yeah, so we've been working with Culbertson Construction on this property since November of 2016. And as you've noticed, there's been noticeable change. However, it's still not completed. The entire interior, yes, 2016. The interior of the property is still just down to the studs, not much progress inside. So we've been trying to work with him on extensions and get the project done. There's just been a lack of communication between the developer and the city. And on September 6th, we issued a 60-day notice to cure to the developer. So if after the 60 days, he still hasn't completed the property, and we're looking at it complete, we want it done, we can take the property back for half of what we sold it to him for, which would be $2,500. So that is what we're recommending right now, is at the end of this 60-day period for the city to take the property back, and then look for another qualified developer to finish the project and get this back up on the tax rolls and up and running, so.
So he'll end up losing money, probably.
That is potentially what could happen, yes. We had the development agreement with him, and it's well expired. We've tried to work with him throughout the process, we've just said, give us a timeline, tell us what your plan is, and we wouldn't hear from him for a month or two. So we've been more than fair, in our opinion, and I think this is probably our best route so we can get this property finished.
Yeah, the landscaping and stuff is in on it now.
Yeah.
It's surprising that the inside's not done.
Right. I know.
The front porch.
The front porch has been sitting for about a year now.
He's put a few bucks into it though.
He has. He's put a lot of his own sweat equity into it too. So, he's a developer or a contractor. So I don't think everything might have been at cost or, he had people working for him and, I don't know. It is what it is, yeah.
Have we worked with him before?
He had done a few jobs through, I think, the rehab program, but nothing with neighborhood enhancement on like a full project like this, so.
We would look at, if he would work with us on this, what do you have into it?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll pick it up, or if we could make it work, we just want it done and finished, but
Yeah.
we haven't really gotten any cooperation.
Right.
That's great. That's all I can try.
So,
This is the 2x4.
I guess. We're to do by four.
Yeah, I'll move to approve.
Motion made by Jim to approve,
Second.
second by Kathy. Any other questions or comments? Not?
Passed unanimously.
Yes, so. Number 7, consideration of possible action for the acquisition of 422 Fifth Street, parcel 2-192, using neighborhood enhancement funds. That Ken, Phil?
That is Ken.
You're a busy young man, Ken.
Yes. All right, so this property is located in the Shipyard neighborhood. It's currently a 2-family house on the front of the property and a single-family standalone unit in the rear of the property. Two of the units are occupied. We feel this is a good property to pick up and possibly lower the density in this area by taking out the back unit. The lot is just not big enough to hold 3 units. It's zoned R3 in this area, so higher density is the zoning here. It's just not, the way the lot is set up is not the right configuration. And today I found actually Kevin spoke with the realtor, Kevin Vaughn. I gotta specify, right?
yeah, right.
We have so many Kevins around here now. The owner of the property would be willing to work with us on the price, at a discounted price, and he also just wants the option to possibly build on one of our other vacant lots. So kind of in a negotiation exchange. Yeah, so with that news today, we were gonna recommend, purchasing this for the $139,900, possibly negotiating, but
Okay, good.
I'm thinking, with the news that we just got today, maybe the recommendation should be to come back with further negotiations to the October RDA, once we, talk to the owner and further figure out those.
Sound like someone from the public that wants to speak. I entertain a motion to open the meeting.
So moved.
Alderperson Dorf and
Kathy.
Kathy. Thank you. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting is open. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Noel Halverson, NeighborWorks Green Bay. Just looking at this, curious about the property in the back, if it's a salvageable structure. I know the city owns a number of parcels within a block of here that are developable. And, I don't know, it looks like it's open to the west. If you could work with the neighbor, is that a movable structure maybe to put onto another one of those parcels that you've got in the neighborhood and create another single-family home?
Yeah, and we thought of that when we walked through the properties. It's an odd floor plan inside, and it's definitely, I would say, not for, it would be for shorter people. Yeah, it's very small. It's a tiny house. Yeah.
Isn't that the ceiling plan rather than the floor?
Exactly, yeah. So, we did consider that, and we would think it'd be better off building on those other vacant lots in the area than moving it,
Yeah,
so.
we've had some experience moving houses, just,
Okay.
you know,
Sure.
if it's salvageable,
And definitely-
why tear them down, right?
Right, exactly, and if you wanted to take a look at it, yeah, we would definitely let you walk through it and see if you wanted to do that, but our opinion was just that
Juice might not be worth the squeeze.
juice might not be worth the squeeze, exactly, so.
Any other comments? Otherwise, I entertain a motion to go back to regular business. Jim?
Second.
Kathy? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Back to regular business. So your recommendation is just to come back with another proposal next month?
That's what I would say, yeah, hold
So-
until the October 9th.
So I'm not sure
meeting.
we need a motion on that then. Right, we don't need a motion on that, just to come back to, or do we? Do we need a motion on it?
Table it.
Table
We would have to
Table.
table it.
Yeah, you would hold until a date certain. So you can ask that it be returned on whatever date, yes.
Okay, we
Hold it till the
don't need a
October
motion here for that.
And
Okay,
October
all
9th.
right.
That would give us enough time to
Yep, yep.
negotiate.
Right.
I'll move to hold it until the next meeting. Second.
Motion by Jim and second by Matt. Any other questions or comments? If not, we shall vote. Good, thank you.
Passed unanimously.
All right. Number 8, consideration of possible action on a $40,000 home funding request by Greater Green Bay Habitat for Humanity to construct a home at the corner of Stewart/Clay Street, parcel number 14-886.
All right.
All
So
right.
this would have been Krista, but she's not here today. She is, not sure where she's at. a-
Job fair.
Northland Job Fair.
Yes, job fair, so.
Okay.
So this will be me.
Okay, please.
Yep, so Habitat has submitted a request for home funds for $40,000 to build a new single-family, two-story home on this lot. They've owned it for a number of years now and have tossed a few ideas out on what they could put there, what they could build there. They've come to us with this two-story plan that they've built on over on Crook Street. They did 2 of these. And we like the plan. I think there's another picture as well. Yeah, right here. So we would support the funding of the $40,000. That's basically helps with, because it's a two-story, they do have to hire out contractors to do any of the roofing, the siding. Volunteers aren't allowed to go on ladders. So the contractor then has to do basically all of the second-story work. So that's where the extra funding would come in.
Any idea what the end result would be as far as what they would sell for?
Do you guys have those numbers?
I believe the appraised value on this one on Crook Street was around 145.
Yeah, so bringing some good value
Yep,
to
absolutely.
one of our downtown neighborhoods.
Entertain a motion.
I'd make the motion, Gary.
Okay, Matt,
Second.
and second by Kathy. Any other comments or questions?
Nice one.
I lost my,
You lost. You're always lost. You're lost. Thanks a lot, huh?
you can do it verbally, Jim. We learned that.
We learned that today.
There's a shortcut.
Tom back? Joe Scarf?
Joe Scarborough.
So Jim and Kathy's didn't come through yet.
Yeah, his signature. You can do it verbal.
Okay. I'll vote aye.
Verbal yes.
Okay, passed unanimously.
Okay, great.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kathy.
Well done.
Informational, look over the Senate's report, Secretary General talked about that. Director's report and project updates.
Sure. So thank you for all coming here today to rededicate this room, Terry Meyer room. Appreciative of all your support and thank you for that. So we're excited to honor his legacy, so we'll continue to refer to that in future for this. So I'm curious to start working in your 30 years. Too. Project updates, yes, Krista is over at Y today for a job fair for the Hotel Northland. The owner was in town this past weekend. Went by, the scaffolding is mostly down around the outside, the fence is down, weeds are cut. You can see the windows and definitely continuing to be on track for early November opening. They're just really down to final furnishings, fixtures, equipment, and really putting the people together that are going to run that place. All in, they're going to be hiring between 130 and 140 positions for that hotel. So I think.
One quick comment.
Yeah.
I took a tour of it a couple weeks ago, and it's impressive. It was the gym of downtown Green Bay before, and it'll be a gym again. The lobby and the ballroom are just so impressive with the chandeliers, whatever, and the woodwork. It's exciting.
Yes, so we'll make sure to have a grand opening for that, which has been, 10 years in the making?
Well, and the name Poke the Bear seems appropriate.
Yeah.
For the-
Especially
Which we just did.
Sunday nights.
Correct. So moving along well, you may have heard, we had a press conference last week. TWG, developer out of Indianapolis, was successful in getting awarded state tax credits for their project at the north end of the rail yard. We had a term sheet with them the other year, so we'll be working on a draft development agreement to bring back through RDA and council, probably before the end of the year. Proposing 107 units of affordable housing at the north end.
Yes.
Again, you talked about both, we talked a lot about market rate today, but also, the affordable need, especially in our downtown area, is still there. So we're excited to get moving back, looking on with that. And then as far as the other end, the shipyard, we've been working, the request for qualifications for a consultant is out there. We'll be posting some supplemental questions or an addendum to that today. We've received a number of inquiries as to, just some more specifics about the timing and the process and what is all happening as part of that. With that, we would still like to bring in or recommend the selection of a consultant by the end of this month. I think that will keep this project moving along. Again, we'd like to target having some design documents done by the end of this year so that we can start moving that project along as well.
So,
Yeah.
that area has a huge advantage in that it's a qualified new market tax credit, census tract, and an opportunity zone. So,
Yes.
Technically, you're going to add a lot of value to it.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully, yes, Commissioner Dean and WIDA can help provide us some guidance on opportunity zones in the future. I've asked, and we may come down the road of looking at the RDA itself, the potential for them to create their own opportunity fund. There's still guidance. It's pretty loose right now, and then I think you're waiting from the IRS, and WIDA's going to be able to educate the state that's entrusted with this, but looking at ways for us as another maybe financial tool to be able to put money into some of these projects that can, be a benefit to people looking to place an investment somewhere, but then also for us for having cash for projects that we'd like to get done. With that, again, now we're back here fully up on 6th floor, so you saw, of course, the remodel today, so all of our staff is up here, and hopefully in a good functioning environment. So again, if you didn't get the tour, feel free to stick around today, and we'll take you through our new digs. Other than that, I'm happy to answer any specific project questions you might have.
Any other questions on any of the projects that you're working on? Full speed ahead, that's all the.
As usual.
Yes, a lot of things going on. Great. Any questions, Kevin? If not, our next meeting is October 9th, and I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Jim and Matt.
Second.
All those in favor, say by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Those are the easy ones,
Night,
right?
Writing that up.
Last question first.